Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to the Strictly Business Podcast with John Stanko and Mike Ritz.
Y'all ready for this?
It's not personal, sir. It's strictly business.
Welcome, everyone, to the Strictly Business Podcast once again, twice in 1 week. Michael Ritz here with John Stanko. Mike, it's time. It's week one of the NFL season tomorrow. Are you ready for this?
I'm excited. I mean, who isn't excited for this first week of the NFL?
Dude, it's Christmas come early. This compares to opening day of baseball for me. It's like my two favorite sports days of the year.
I mean, college basketball for me is up there, too.
Touche. All right, Mike, but let's hop right into it. Opening game tomorrow night, or Thursday night, if you will. The Green Bay Packers heading to Seattle. It's the game, the sequel to the infamous Fail Mary, if you will. So, who you got winning this one? Green Bay Packers going up against the Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks.
I am going to go with the Seattle Seahawks. I think it's a sin to go against the Seahawks while they're at home. I really think this is going to be foreshadowing into the NFC Championship game. But I see the Seahawks coming out on top here. I think their defense is too tough. I think they're too much of a steady, reliable team from offense and defense. And until the Packers show me that they can play a little defense, I can't say that they are a better team than Seattle right now. So I'm going to go with Seattle. What about you, John?
I agree with you. I think this game is going to be very close and competitive, though, because I think an interesting thing to see is how the Seattle secondary will fare against the referees who officiate this game. I think that the opening quarter is going to set the tempo for whether or not Seattle can be physical with the Green Bay receivers, and if they're allowed to be physical, Seattle will dominate the secondary. But if they call those ticky-tacky fellas like they did in the preseason, I think that this game gets very, very interesting. However, I'm going to go with Seattle 27-24. They will defend their Super Bowl. And, I mean, they're already going to be pumped up because they're unveiling the banner, but they also got the 12th man there, and they're going to be extra pumped. Aaron Rodgers is not going to be able to say a word that his offensive line is going to be able to hear because it's going to be so loud there.
Yeah, also, the Packers have a rookie center starting this football game. Their center, J.C. Treader, got hurt, and he's going to be out for the start of the regular season. So they have their rookie center, and I don't know if you saw, but Bruce Irvin on the Seahawks says, "I'm going to pray for him," talking about this rookie center, Corey Linsley.
Boy.
Bruce Irvin already talking smack. Seahawks already talking smack, ready for the game. But, I mean, it is a valid point. This guy is playing his first game away from home, probably in the last place you want to start with, probably the hardest place to play in the NFL. So the Seahawks trying to use the intimidation factor on the rookie from the Packers.
Over under one interception for Richard Sherman.
Man, I'm going to say under. I don't think he gets one. I don't think he gets one tomorrow. I don't think he gets one on Thursday. What about you?
I agree with you. I think Aaron Rodgers knows well enough not to throw it in his direction if he's going to force it.
Yeah, if anything, who do you think he's going to guard? Because I think Aaron Rodgers would rather have, Jordy Nelson just have, 2 receptions tonight than try to force him into throwing to Jordy and risking a pick.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to match up against one guy. I think that he's going to be put to a side of the field, if you will, and whether it be Randall Cobb or Jordy Nelson on that side, that's who Richard Sherman's going to match up against. That's what my thinking is.
Yeah, I agree. So it looks like we're both in agreement here. I think that the Packers are going to be very good, and two of the better teams in the NFC. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the NFC Championship game that we see in a couple of months. I don't know how about you feel about that, but from what it's looking like and for what they've shown, what their rosters look like, kind of what they've shown in the preseason, these two teams are definitely going to make some noise in the NFC.
Yeah, and we both have these teams in our preseason top 5 power rankings as well. So very good opening night matchup on Thursday. Let's move on to Sunday, though, and a very intriguing 1 o'clock game in my mind. The New Orleans Saints heading down to Atlanta in a division rivalry matchup. The Saints' offense is a powerhouse, as you know, but the Falcons are looking to rebound after a very dismal season. Rich, who you got in this division matchup?
This is going to be closer than what people think, but I'm still going to go with the Saints here. I think their offense is too good. And until I see Atlanta play a game, they kind of they got to prove to me first that they are a different team from last year. I definitely believe that they are, but it's just a question of how good are they going to be. I think the Saints have too much right now. Their offense is obviously, they have one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Drew Brees, who will really control the game, control the tempo, and they have an increased defense. So I don't know if the Falcons have enough to they are playing in the Dome. We all know how Matty Ice is usually in the Dome. Maybe not last year, but his history in the Dome is very good. But I still think the Saints and Drew Brees are going to be too tough for the Falcons.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this game's going to be pretty high scoring, but I gotta say that I think New Orleans is going to win 31-21. I agree with you. I think it'll be close in the fourth quarter. New Orleans pulling away late with a late touchdown. Drew Brees looked fantastic in his one preseason game. I think he had over 150 yards passing in one quarter of that third preseason game, and that injury looks to have faded away forever. And I agree with you. I don't have complete faith in the Falcons, even though I think they'll be better. As I said in our last podcast, I think this is not the week for them to start off on that proper footing, because I think New Orleans, in my mind, might be the best or second best team in the NFC right now because of how motivated they are. Sean Payton, a fantastic coach, and Jimmy Graham, the best tight end in football. This offense just has way too many weapons.
Yeah, that next team in the NFC, really the Saints. Those three teams, Packers, Seahawks, Saints, they all can make a run. Yeah, so 2 for 2, Stanko, or 2 for 2.
But also one thing to point out, the Saints will not have Darren Sproles. So look how that will affect their offense. That's something to look at.
Yeah, even on the special team side, because let's see who's going to return the punts.
Exactly. Very good point. Let's get to a game that I think is pretty intriguing. I don't know about you. You might not think so. I may be crazy. But the Minnesota Vikings headed to St. Louis. St. Louis, Sean Hill will be starting at quarterback after Sam Bradford tears his ACL for the second consecutive year. And the Vikings coming in with 2 quarterbacks who played well in the preseason, both Castle and Bridgewater. Castle was named the starter heading into week 1. This game is in St. Louis, Mike. Who you got winning this one, Minnesota or the Rams?
This is one of the tougher ones of the week, but I'm going to go with the Vikings here. I think that the Rams still they need to figure out, without Sam Bradford, how their offense is going to run. And I think when you look in that offense versus offense here, you got to go with the Vikings. Obviously, Adrian Peterson is a beast, one of the best running backs in the league. At least Matt Castle has played and has proven himself a little bit in the NFL. Sean Hill is going to get the start for St. Louis. I don't know. I gotta see him a little more before I pick. And I think with the Vikings offense, it definitely has more promise. Although I think St. Louis does have a way better defense than Minnesota, I still think Minnesota is going to kind of pounce on them early and then hang on for the win.
Great minds think alike, Michael Rich. Great minds think alike. I am with you 100% for every reason that you said. Listen, I think it's going to take at least a week or two before Sean Hill is comfortable with the offense. Listen, he's a veteran backup quarterback, but it doesn't matter how many years you're in the league. You're still going to have to dip your foot in the water and test the playing with your new team. So I agree with you. I think the Rams lose by 3, 20-17. I think that if the Vikings can run the ball and establish the run in the first half, because that defensive line, that pass rush is so good for St. Louis. Minnesota has to run the ball to win. I think as long as AP goes over 100 yards, Minnesota can pull this win out.
Yeah, completely agreed.
All right, let's move on to the AFC North, a division rivalry. The Cleveland Browns under Brian Hoyer heading to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. It shall be known that there is no Josh Gordon for the Browns, not this game, not for the entire year. So their offense is what we would say weak, very weak. For me, I don't think this game's going to be very close or competitive. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to have this all the way. I'll say it. This is my lock of the week. I will say this is my lock of the week.
Okay.
Lock of the week. I really believe that there's no way that the Steelers are going to lose this game. They're playing in Pittsburgh. The Browns are just such a mess right now. This is technically a rivalry game, even though I think I read that Pittsburgh has a 24-3 record straight up against Cleveland in the past 27 games, which is
oh my God, that's
as close of a lock as you can have. So in terms of that, yeah, it is my lock of the week. Brian Hoyer is gonna really get a taste of what the team's gonna look like this year. And like I said in the previous podcast, really all you have is Ben Tate right now to kind of carry the load. But other than that, they don't have much. So yeah, Pittsburgh Steelers over the Browns, my lock of the week.
I agree with you with the Steelers over the Browns. It is not my lock of the week, however. We'll get to that game shortly for me. Well, listen, I agree with you. As long as the Steelers stop Ben Tate and maybe guard Jordan Cameron at tight end, I don't see how the Browns can move the ball on offense. Over under 12 plays by Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel will be involved in 12 plays for the Browns.
Under. I think that they're going to try to see through Brian Hoyer as much as they can before they put in Johnny Manziel. So I think for the first week, he still has to get adjusted to the speed of the game, and I think especially in week 1, it's going to be under 12 plays.
I have to say I agree with you, but not as much. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in there on a goal line or something crazy, because the Steelers expect him to play. They've made it known that they expect him to play some snaps. And listen, Coach Tenton has said that they're looking at plays for Johnny Manziel. But I think Johnny Clipboard will be trending on Twitter within 5 minutes of this game starting, and that's how it'll take to be over, because Pittsburgh will pounce early and they won't let up. So we both agree Pittsburgh Steelers fairly easily over the Cleveland Browns. They are your Stone Cold lock of the week.
Yeah, lock it up, baby. Lock it up.
Lock it up. All right. Now let's get to my Stone Cold lock of the week. If the Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Philadelphia, I'm going to say it right now, Philadelphia is going to roll all over Jacksonville. This is my lock of the week. There's no way the Jaguars can keep up with the Eagles. No way in hell.
Yeah, that's definitely the other game that I was thinking of putting, but I'm glad that I didn't, because we wouldn't want to be the exact same. But I agree with you that there's no way the Eagles are going to lose this game. Although it will be said that this is Johnny Stanko's second-place team in the division, the Jaguars.
I guess it is. I don't shy away from that. I don't shy away.
But I agree that there's no way the Eagles are going to lose this game. They're playing in Philly. Jacksonville is way too much to figure out early on in the season. I think the Jaguars' best play is going to be later on in the year when they kind of figure out the offense a little more. But as for right now, the Eagles have the best offense, arguably in the NFL, obviously next to the Broncos. But if you look at the stats, it's really the Eagles with the offense. But, yeah, I agree. The Eagles are going to roll over the Jaguars, no question.
Yeah, all right. So that one's easy. That one's easy. Philadelphia rolls over Jacksonville, I think, by at least 2 touchdowns. At least. Let's get to a game where it's 2 very young quarterbacks, one in his second year and one making the start as a rookie. It's Oakland heading to New York. I think this is going to be one of the first times in a long time where the Jets have a distinct advantage at the quarterback position. And for me, it's going to make it pretty easy for the Jets to blow out Oakland in this game. I'm going to say the Jets win fairly easily. The score I got is 28-13.
Yeah, I agree. I think the fact that they're starting the Raiders are starting a rookie quarterback, Derek Carr, who I think is going to be pretty good, I think the Jets defense, they're going to throw so many different looks at him as often as they can to kind of throw them off. And the Raiders offense stinks anyway, but it's going to look even worse against the very good Jets defense. And Rex isn't an idiot, as many people like to think he is. He's not an idiot in that aspect. He's going to throw as many different looks at Derek Carr as he can to try to confuse him. It's going to work. They're playing in New York. I think the Jets are going to start out 1-0. Like we said, we think Geno Smith had a pretty good preseason. So I don't expect anything less than having even a pretty good performance in Week 1. So yeah, I'd say the Jets are going to win Week 1 against the Raiders.
Yes. How much do you think Rex Ryan is drooling at the fact that he gets to go up against a rookie quarterback Week 1? I mean, I can't imagine how giddy Rex Ryan feels right now.
Yeah, I mean, especially in New York, you want to start off, especially for him. He needs to win as many games as he can because despite what everyone else is saying, I mean, he thinks that he's losing his job, and a lot of people still think that he's on the hot seat. So he needs to win as many games as he can this year. And Week 1, it starts Week 1 for him, and I think he loves the fact that he's going up against a rookie quarterback because he knows for a fact that he will have the upper hand going into Week 1, and it's all about momentum in this league. So if the Jets can get rolling, it'll be the perfect situation for him to start the year.
And you want to know how important this Week 1 is for the Jets? Listen to their schedule after the Oakland game. They go to Green Bay, then they're at home for Chicago and Detroit. That's 3 straight NFC North matchups. And then they go to San Diego, host Denver, and then go to New England on a short week where they'll play on a Thursday. Dear Lord.
They better get this one. Get this one.
I mean, what did they do to deserve 3 straight NFC North opponents? Who pissed off the scheduling of the NFL?
Rex must have said the wrong thing to somebody.
He's been known to do that quite a bit, though. So we both agree the Jets over Oakland easily. Let's get to another division matchup, this time in the AFC North. We already have the Pittsburgh Steelers playing the Cleveland Browns. Now let's go to the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Baltimore. Rich, who do you got coming out on top?
This one was tough for me. Just the simple fact that, the Ravens notoriously are better at home playing in Baltimore, tough place to play. But I'm still going to go with the Bengals. I think the Bengals have have a lot of talent. They have a lot of talent in this team, and I think the fact that they put all their eggs in one basket, if you will, in their quarterback Andy Dalton by signing him long term is only going to benefit this team, going to benefit Andy Dalton's confidence that they have in him, and I think that they're going to be too much. We've said about the Ravens that their defense isn't as stellar. They don't have an every down back. Flacco has been spotty at times, so for me, you got to go with the Bengals here.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. The Ravens defense is not what it used to be. There's no doubting that whatsoever. I mean, they ranked 12th in the NFL last year in terms of passing defense and 11th in terms of rushing defense. So it's not terrible by any means. But last year they ranked 30th in the NFL in rushing yards per game as an offense and 83 yards per game. And they're without Ray Rice Week 1. So Bernard Pierce is going to be the engine that dictates whether or not Baltimore will be successful offensively. And I don't trust Bernard Pierce to do that against a stellar Cincinnati Bengals front line. So I agree with you. I think the Bengals win this one by a touchdown. We're agreeing too much, Mike. I don't like this. You need to
I was about to say this is there has to be one game on here that we're going to disagree with, but we'll find it.
It's either we're both incredibly smart or more likely we're both incredibly stupid. It's one of those two things.
We're missing something. Something is missing here.
Yeah, we're missing something. But the sad thing is I don't think we're going to disagree on this next game. The Buffalo Bills heading to Chicago. The Bears have one of the most complete offenses in football. And to be honest, I don't see the Bills stopping them at all. I see the Bears winning this one easily as well.
Yeah, it's going to be all Bears all the time here. Jay Cutler, as many people as don't like him, he's a very good quarterback, especially at home. The Bills, E.J. Manuel he was streaky last year, had some good moments, had some bad moments. Let's see how Sammy Watkins is going to do. Is he going to stay healthy? That's what I want to see. How is Sammy Watkins going to do, especially now playing in meaningful games, playing up a pretty good defense in the Chicago Bears. Let's see how they use him. But, between Matt Forte, Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall, the Bears really are going to be good this year. I have said that the Bears are going to trounce the Bills in Week 1.
Yeah, the only way the Bills can maybe stay in this game is if they run the ball and control the clock throughout. And they have the chance to do that with C.J. Spiller and Fred Jackson, a pretty good 1-2 punch at running back. But that's the only way that they'll be able to stay in this game is if they have a 2-1 advantage in terms of time of possession. That's the only way I see them staying in it.
Yeah, I agree because that's the only way. That's the only steady offense that they have is those two backs, Fred Jackson and C.J. Spiller. That's the only things you can really count on. You can't really count on E.T. Manuel's arm. You can't count on Sammy Watkins. You don't really have another receiver if you're the Bills. So I would run it as much as I can. So if you're right, if C.J. Spiller and Fred Jackson can get on a roll a little bit and maintain the clock and not be down by multiple scores after the first half, they can hang in here, but I don't see it. I see the Bears coming out on top by double digits.
All right, moving on. Let's get to a game that was very, very hard for me to pick. This game, I'm going to tell you who I picked in this game, but I'm not confident in it at all. The Washington Redskins heading to Houston. It should be known that J.J. Watt has gotten paid. And do you know what happened after he got his nice big fat contract, Mike?
What happened?
He went to the weight room at 3:30 in the morning and was let in by the cleaning lady. And he worked out at 3:30 in the morning after getting paid.
He wants to prove that he's worth the money.
I think he already has proved. He just wants to prove it some more. But this game was really, really tough for me to pick, Mike. So I'm curious who you're going with here.
This is by far the hardest one to choose this week. And probably by Sunday, I'm going to have a different opinion. But for right now, I think that I'm going to stick with the Washington Redskins this week. I'm going to stick with them. I think that, like I said, the Redskins' best play is going to be early on in the year. I think that RG3 is as healthy as he's going to be. I don't believe in the Texans right now. I need to see Foster before I rely on the Texans for really anything. J.J. Watt might be the only guarantee that's going to happen here. But I still believe the Redskins offense can be very good when RG3 is good, and early on in the year he's going to be. Pierre Garçon, Deshaun Jackson, and Alfred Morris, their offense is very good. So right now I'm going to stick with my pick with the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I have the Redskins right now, but come Sunday, I might change my mind. The Redskins offensive line did not look good in the preseason. And I am very scared as to what J.J. Watt and that guy by the name of Jadeveon Clowney, I don't know if you've heard of him before. He doesn't have much hype. He's kind of under the radar. But I'm scared for what they're going to do to that Redskins offensive line and how badly they're going to fluster RG3 because Clowney hits really hard. J.J. Watt is a diesel truck. I mean, I think you're going to be able to tell who wins this game by the first quarter. If the Houston Texans are getting to RG3 with ease, the Redskins are in for a long day. But I think that the Houston Texans offense, I don't have any faith in Arian Foster anymore and their quarterback situation. So until I see something from their offense to boost my confidence in that, I'm going to have to stick with the Redskins, but I am not confident about it at all.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you are RG3, it's probably the last team you want to play week one because you want to be as healthy as you can be, and you have two guys that can really, really get to the quarterback. So I completely agree with you. I don't think it's going to be a close game, but I think I can see it going either way. I think the Redskins can blow this team out by 3 touchdowns, but I think the Texans can too, depending on the first half. I think the first half is everything in the game.
Yeah, listen, I completely agree with you. I'm excited to watch this team out. I'm excited to see how it turns out because I don't know what to expect from it. So that's what I'm excited about. So let's move on to a game that is, for me, pretty easy to pick. The Tennessee Titans heading to Arrowhead to play the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the new era as Ken Whisenhunt as a head coach of the Tennessee Titans. Andy Reid is still the head coach of Kansas City, looking to build upon their surprisingly good year last year. Who you got winning this game, Mike?
I mean, let it be known that the Titans are going to finish second in the division. I just want to point that out, that is what's going to happen. They have so much upside that I don't think many people are seeing. I think Ken Whisenhunt is going to give a nice, fresh kind of outlook. And if Jake Locker can stay healthy, they're going to be very good. Having said that, they're not going to beat the Chiefs week 1. The Chiefs are very good. They're very balanced. I hope Jamal Charles can stay healthy because a guy like that I kind of worry about. But, the Chiefs are so balanced, such a balanced football team that they're going to be hard to beat because they don't make any mistakes. They don't beat themselves up. And when a team does not make many mistakes on their own, they are hard to beat. So I have the Chiefs winning this one handily.
Yeah, I agree with you. Tennessee ranked 20th in terms of rushing defense last year, and I don't think they're going to get off to a good start this year. I think Jamal Charles is going to have a pretty big day, and I think Alex Smith has to validate the big contract that he got as well. So I think he'll play well. No Dwayne Bowe, though, for the Chiefs. Let it be known there. Granted, he didn't have that good of a year last year anyway. But I agree with you. I think the Chiefs win this one pretty easily. Mike, we've agreed on every single pick thus far.
This is bad.
This is not for engaging podcast material. We need to disagree more. But let's get to a game that I think we're all going to agree on once again. The New England Patriots heading to Miami, an AFC East matchup. Gronkowski has said he's going to play for the Patriots. However, Coach Bill Belichick was like, not so fast. So who you got in this one, Mike? I think the answer's pretty easy.
Yeah, I guess I got to go with your Patriots here this week. I don't see much out of the Dolphins to kind of back up anything that they're going to play well against the Patriots. Especially if Gronk plays, that's going to create a definite mismatch for the Dolphins. And I think the Patriots really have had the Dolphins number. I will say the last time they played, the Dolphins did win. I think it was close. I think the Dolphins actually won in Miami, but I will say that the Patriots are going to win this handily.
Yeah, I think that the fact that Tom Brady threw 163 passes to rookies last year, and he doesn't have to do that again this year. People had a year to learn the offense. I'm really curious to see what people like Brandon LaFell do, or that new tight end we got right after trading Logan Meckins. So I agree with you. I think New England's going to put up a lot of points, and I don't think Miami's going to be able to keep up. And I'm really curious to see how Darrelle Revis does in his first game with the Patriots. He'll be matched up on Mike Wallace all day long. So I'm curious to see how many catches Mike Wallace gets overall in the game.
Revis Island, let's see how he plays. I really want to see how he's going to play with the Patriots.
Yeah. Let's get to a game that I think we might disagree on. There's a chance. The NFC South, the Carolina Panthers at Tampa Bay. Mike Rich, who are you going with?
Well, I mean, if you have to go by anything of what we said in the last podcast, we should disagree here, because I have them finishing third, I have the Panthers finishing third in the division, and you have the Buccaneers finishing third in the division. So something's got to give here. I'm going to stick with my beliefs in the last podcast, and I'm going to stick with the Carolina Panthers. I think the Panthers have enough on defense that they're going to stop the Bucs. I think that Cam Newton is remotely healthy. I mean, he does have a cracked rib, but I think that he's going to play through that. And I think as good as the Buccaneers defense is said to be, I think the Panthers defense is much better. I think they're going to stop Doug Martin because we said in the last podcast that he's not an every down back and he can't really handle that workload yet. So for me, I have the Panthers winning this. Let's see what you say, Stan.
Can we disagree? Yes.
Finally.
I got Tampa Bay in a low-scoring affair. Cam Newton has not practiced yet with those cracked ribs. I agree with you that I think he'll play Sunday, but he won't be 100% healthy. And I think that Doug Martin's stock went up a little bit with the trade for Logan Mankins, who, in my opinion, is one of the best offensive lines in football. So I think that Tampa Bay is going to win a low-scoring game, a game that's going to be dominated by the defense. I wouldn't be surprised if a special teams play or a big defensive play turns this game around. But I got Tampa Bay winning by 3. I think the score I have is 17-14 in my head. But we disagree on a pick. Thank God.
Yeah, and I'm happy because I really think you gave me one here. I don't see it. I really don't see it here, Johnny.
We shall see what happens, Mike Rich. We shall see what happens.
All right, let's go on to this next game. It'll be the Sunday night game. We have the Indianapolis.
Wait, you skipped the game. Good sir.
First of all, I did skip the game. You're right. Go ahead, man.
Good sir. You
handle your
skipped the
business.
game.
Handle
How
your
dare
business.
you? I mean,
Handle your business.
I don't think you'd mind if we skipped this team. The Dallas Cowboys are hosting
That's
the
what it is.
49ers. So I see you trying to skim by them. But listen, I think we can get through this game pretty quickly. San Francisco wins this one easy, right?
I have San Francisco winning this game, but I will say it's going to be close. I really think it's going to be a close game. I think that the Niners are balanced, but at times I feel like they're too balanced. They're almost too controlled, and I think that's what separates them from getting up into that next step, if that makes any sense. So I think that they try to control the game too much on the ground, and I think that they aren't going to run as many plays as maybe they should. I have the Niners winning this game, but it's going to be by 7 at most, if not by a field goal, because the Cowboys' offense is very good. So I think this game's going to be a little closer than what people say, but I have the 49ers coming out on top.
I agree with you about the 49ers. I don't think it's going to be close. I mean, San Francisco has so many ways to score on you, whether it be their running backs running, Frank Gore, whether it be Colin Kaepernick running, or throwing the ball. With Michael Crabtree now healthy week 1 and looking to be healthy for a full season. I agree with you. San Francisco's defense is a little bit sketchy, so Dallas can score a lot of points, but I think San Francisco still scores a substantial amount more. I see San Francisco winning by at least 10 in this game. But now we can skip past your Cowboys. We can get to the Sunday night game.
Finally. So like I was going to say, Sunday night game, we have the Indianapolis Colts, Andrew Luck, obviously coming off 2 great years starting in the NFL. He has some records already, going up against the former Colt, former face of the franchise, Peyton Manning, and the Denver Broncos playing in Denver. Stanko, I don't think it's much of a decision, but let's see what you have to say.
I think that Denver is going to win this game, but I will say that I think now that Wes Welker is suspended for 4 weeks, whether that be a gift in disguise because of his concussion situation, but I think that his absence is a huge factor for the Denver Broncos. He was targeted the most out of any receiver last year by Peyton Manning. He was a massive red zone target when they got down there inside the 20-yard line. Now, how much will his absence be missed? They have so many weapons on the offensive end, who knows? But I think that with him out, Denver will only win this game by maybe a touchdown. But I think that Peyton Manning does edge out his heir to the Colts in Andrew Luck.
I mean, yeah, I think that I definitely have the Broncos winning, coming out on top here. I also think Emmanuel Sanders is set to have a big year because I don't think he was utilized as often as he should have been in Pittsburgh. So I think it really is a big get for the Broncos, and I think he's going to kind of carry the load when Wentz is out. So with that, I don't think it's much. I think that the Colts are very good, and I think they're going to be very good throughout the year, but I think the Broncos here have too much. Their defense has gotten much better, and with their acquisitions and Talib Ware. But especially playing in Denver, I don't see the Colts going into Denver and coming out on top here. And also, according to Tony Gonzalez, I don't know if you saw this, but he has the Broncos going 16-0 and winning the Super Bowl this year. I don't know how you feel about that, Johnny.
That's wrong. They play New England this year. That's a loss, right? I'm just kidding there because
we'll get that. We'll get to that game when we come to the week.
Yeah, we'll get to that game, and that's a joke because Denver is very good. They right now in my mind they're better than New England, but I don't see them as an undefeated talent. But I'm curious, where do you have the Indianapolis Colts roughly ranked in as a preseason power rankings? What do you see them as they're not in your top 5 as we discussed in our last podcast, but our friend Tommy Simon commented on our Facebook page. He has the Indianapolis Colts as the 5th best team in the NFL right now, and I thought that was a little high. But I respect Tommy's opinion. I'm curious as to where you have them.
Well, I have the Patriots above them because the Patriots were my 6th team in my power rankings. I think they're right there. I really do. I really think they're right there. So I would have them 7th, honestly. I think the Colts are that good, but I don't think they are, a top tier team yet. So I have them. I have them definitely in the top 10, in that 7 to 10 range.
Yeah. I mean, do you think they're better than the Chicago Bears?
I think they can be. Yeah, I would have to see. You gotta see how the year plays out, but probably on paper the Bears are probably better, but I don't think they're noticeably better than the Colts. No.
Yeah, I think I have the Colts like number 8 or number 9, maybe number 10. I think they can be a top 5 team this year. I think they eventually will be with how easy their schedule is playing in a really weak division. But I can't put them in my I can't put them in my top 8 at the start of the season because I'm not convinced about their defense and I'm not convinced about their running game.
Gotcha.
But we'll see what happens. Either way, great Sunday night game to open up the season, though. Fantastic job by the NFL.
Oh, without a doubt. The opening game on Thursday and the closing game on Sunday are probably the 2 best games. Yeah,
I could agree with you there. Well, let's get to Monday night, shall we? Let's get to your New York Giants, who go to Detroit to battle Matthew Stafford, Calvin Johnson, Reggie Bush, Joyke Bell, and the Detroit Lions. I don't know if you called me hinting there at how good the Detroit Lions offense is compared to your New York Giants. But who do you got winning this game?
There's nothing for me to defend the Giants, so I have to go with the Lions here week 1 until I see any shred of improvement on offense. And frankly, I don't think we're that good on defense either. So I really got to see this before I even think about picking the Giants for any game right now. So I think the Lions offense is scary good. If Stafford stays healthy, they can be very, very dangerous football team later on in the season. So especially in week 1, I think the Lions are going to win this one handily on Monday night. I think Eli really needs to show that he has a good, firm grasp on the offense. We're not 100% healthy, as we said in the previous podcast. And I think our only light, I'm excited to see Rashad Jennings and how he's going to do. But outside of that, I think the Lions are going to win this one handily.
Yeah, I agree with you. Listen, I think that the Giants will get better as the season goes on. That's my belief. But to start the year going against an offense that's as dynamic and as in sync as the Detroit Lions, I think this one's going to be very hard for the Giants to compete in throughout the game. So we're still here.
Unfortunately, we agree there. Hopefully the Giants show me something on Monday night.
All right, and the final game of the week is a good one. I think an underrated one. I don't know about you. San Diego heading to Arizona. This one was pretty tough for me to pick as well.
This one was the next hardest. Next to the Washington Texans game, I think this was probably the toughest one to pick. Just because I think Arizona is unproven, and you don't not even unproven, but you just don't know where you're going to get from them. Which is why I'm going to go with the Chargers because I know what I can get out of the Chargers. Probably my most hated player in the league, Phillip Rivers. He is a pretty good quarterback, I will say. He's a pretty good quarterback. I think he gets the most out of what he has. And I think let's see how Ryan Matthews is throughout the year, but I think if he stays healthy, he's in it for a big year. And I think that with the Cardinals, I'm interested to see how Andre Ellington is going to do. A lot of hype surrounding him going into the season. How is he going to perform with all that hype? And I think that before I pick the Cardinals, I got to see how they're going to play. So I'm going to go with San Diego here, Johnny.
And we disagreed for a second time.
Good.
Granted, though, this game is 50-50 for me. This game is exactly like the Tampa Bay Carolina game. I could see either team winning it. But I'm going to give the edge to the home team in Arizona. The one thing I'm worried about with Arizona is that they lose a Darnell Dockett, a staple on their defense, and San Diego has Donald Brown, Danny Woodhead, and Ryan Matthews at running back. I don't know how many running backs you need. So I think San Diego will run the ball quite effectively, but I think the Arizona defense will hold on. I think they'll win it by 3. But we disagreed for a second time. Though, granted, this is a coin flip game for me. And a great game to end the week. I think an underrated game.
Yeah, I completely agree. When I saw it on the schedule, it's not a sexy game, you know, when you hear that Chargers Cardinals. But then if you think about it, it is a great game to end the week on. Like you said, it's going to be a field goal one way or the other. It's going to be a great game, but good games throughout the week. This is going to be a good opening week. A lot of storylines.
Oh, yeah, I am so excited. I got my buffalo wings ready for tomorrow. I got a nice new pack of Sam Adams ready for tomorrow. I'm going to order out a pizza too. It's going to be a party. It's going to be a party.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see how we hold up. So I think the 2 games that we disagreed on is obviously the game we just talked about, and Johnny Stanko has the Cardinals. I have the Chargers. And the other game that we disagree on was what, Johnny?
Was you believe in your Carolina Panthers and their defense. I believe that Carolina Panthers don't have enough offense and that Tampa Bay will get the win. So that's what we agree on. I think that Tampa Bay, Carolina, I think it's going to be a fun and cute for us all year long. I really have a feeling.
It sounds like it does sound like it. It does sound like it. But I appreciate you giving me one here with that game. So it kind of gives me some wiggle room with this Chargers pick. So I appreciate it.
Okay. A little bit cocky there. You're a little bit cocky. We'll see who comes out on top. And also, I do want to wish you, because also what starts tomorrow is fantasy football. So I want to wish you good luck as the commissioner of our league. I want to wish you an official good luck at the start of the fantasy football season tomorrow as well.
I appreciate it. For those of you who don't know, as Johnny just mentioned, he is the commissioner of our fantasy football league from our Iona friends, our Iona College friends. But what he doesn't tell you is he is not only the commissioner, he is the crooked commissioner of the fantasy football league. I have references. You can ask anybody who is in this league that John has had some iffy decisions, but somehow, some way, he is the Batman, if you will, of the commissioner of our fantasy league. Because everyone's wondering how he is still the commissioner. But I appreciate the good luck, because I don't know if you've seen my team. I'm definitely going to need it this year. I am not happy. I am not happy with it.
Well, you go up against the reigning fantasy football champion in Matthew Buzzy. So you got a tough matchup week 1.
I definitely have my work cut out for me.
Yes.
Buzzy had a great year last year. I will say, though, we played each other week 1 last year, and I beat him by less than a point. So hopefully I can get that victory again. It was his only loss last year. Week 1 was Buzzy's only loss, and it was to me. I think he beat me. He beat me later on in the year, but that was my claim to fame. I didn't make the playoffs, but I was the only team to beat the champion of the league last year. But I need Drew Brees to have 50 points a week for me to have any chance at any of these games.
But guess what? That might be possible the way the Saints offense might look.
I hope so.
And also, if I come in second place again, I don't know what I'll do. I won't be sane. I won't be sane anymore. I can't take 3 straight second place finishes. I can't do it.
That is a tough spot to be in, because you've proven yourself. However, you haven't gotten over the hill. You haven't gotten over the hill yet.
Second place is number 1 place for losers.
So let's see. I mean, fantasy, I have 4 teams in it this year, and it's hard. I feel like I almost don't like having a lot of teams, because I feel like I care about each team less. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't know how many teams you have.
You don't want to know how many teams I have.
I have 4. I'm in 4 leagues, and 2 of them with you. And I care about each team a little less when I add on to my number of teams. So for me, obviously, I hold the Iona League close to heart. So let's see how we do. Don't worry, listeners. You will definitely know who wins and who loses in the Iona Fantasy League.
It may be the opening line to every podcast going forward.
I really think if you look at our schedule, I really can go the first 5 games 0-5. I really can.
Hey, listen, it's fantasy football. You never know what's going to happen. You never know. There's no chance to save Matthew Buzzy this year. I'm calling it out right now. There's no Josh Gordon to save Matthew Buzzy.
Ooh, Matt Buzzy, if you're listening, Crooked Commish throwing shots fired the day before the league starts. That's going to be tough. That's going to be an interesting matchup when you guys go up against each other.
Oh God, I am just jealous of his championship and his trophy, which will be sent out this weekend to him that he will hold for this year. I am genuinely jealous.
That was a nice commissioner's touch that you had. You created a trophy, and you're going to mail it to last year's winner that he can hold throughout the year. And then if it's not Matthew Buzzy who wins, he will mail it to the winner.
Yeah, and see, I'm not always crooked.
No, not always. You're not always. You just enough to maintain the commissionership.
All right. Well, I want to thank you, everyone, for listening to the Strictly Business podcast. John Stanko here, Mike Ritz, as always. We'll be back next week with our normal podcast, and once again, with our NFL predictions in a separate podcast. I want to thank you, everyone, for listening. Be sure to share our Facebook page, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube at the Strictly Business podcast with Mike Ritz and John Stanko. Mike, enjoy week 1 of the NFL season. I can't wait. I know you can't either. And good luck in fantasy football once again.
Thank you, Johnny. And for those who are listening, we want to hear from you. So if you believe, like I believe, that there's no way the Buccaneers are beating the Panthers this week, type it in, comment on our Facebook page. If you think we're wrong, because we agreed on a lot of stuff tonight. Me and Johnny usually agree on a lot of stuff. We want to hear from you. We want you to tell us why we're wrong, how we're wrong. We just want to get some feedback from you guys. So people who do like us on Facebook, we thank you, but we also want to hear from you as well.
Great way to close it out, Mike. Mike, enjoy this Sunday, Monday, and every other day this weekend. Football all weekend long, and I'll talk to you next week.
All right, Johnny. Thank you.